Hello, dear students. My name is Bankeswar Panigrahi. Today, we are going to start a new topic about process state transition diagram. So, in our previous class, we have already covered about the introduction to process or process concept. So, today, relating to the topic process, another new topic is there, that is your process state transition diagram. We are going to discuss. So, in this session, we are going to discuss about what are the different states of a process and how a process get executed, and what are the different states are cycled to complete a process execution. So, all about these topics we are going to discuss in this session. So, as we know that different types of process states are there. They are ready state, running state, waiting state, blocked state. So, how these states are used to a process to complete its execution, let's we discuss one by one. So, this is the diagrammatic representation of process state transition diagram. That means how a process is created and what are the steps it needs to complete its execution. That is explained here by this diagram. So, first we are going to discuss one by one state, that is your new state. First one is new state. So, when the user created a process or inserted a process inside the computer system, that state is called as the new state, or we can call it also born state. And second one is that is the ready state. So, before going to execution, first the process will get loaded into the ready queue, that is called your ready state, and from that ready queue, one by one process is selected by the operating system and it gives to the processor one by one process to the processor for its execution. At the time of execution of a process, that is called the running state or run state, and after completion of the process goes for output operation, and after the completion of a process the state comes that is known as the termination state. Okay. So, what are the five states are there? So, 5 states are there. They are new state, ready state, running state, termination state, the wait and block state. So, the new state defines first the process is inserted by the user into the computer system. That is called the new state, or newly one process is entered into the system. That is also we can call it as born state also. After loading that job into the new state or into the secondary storage, we can take it and store it into the ready queue, and the ready queue is the state that comes before the run state or execution state. So before executing a job or a process, first it loads into the ready state, and from ready state the operating system selects one by one process and gives it to the CPU or to the processor for its execution. And at the time of execution, the process is called as in running state, and after the execution is completed and the process needs output operation, at that time, that is called as the process is terminated from the running state and goes to the output storage or output device for printing the result, and that state is called as the termination state. In the meanwhile, if a process is get executed and it needs some resources, then the CPU does not going to idle. So to avoid the idle time period of the CPU, the operating system takes that job from the running state and it gives back into the, stores it into the waiting state or blocked state. So these are the 5 basic states of a process are there. First one is new state, second one is ready state, third one is running state, fourth one is termination state, and fifth one is wait or blocked state. Okay. So this is the diagrammatic representation, or it shows that how a process is moved from one state to another state till the completion of a process. Okay. So these are the cyclical diagrammatic representation of a process state transition diagram. So first, job is loaded into the secondary storage device. From that secondary storage device, it moves to the ready state or into the primary memory. The operating system takes the jobs from the secondary storage memory to the primary storage memory, and from the ready state or from the primary storage, the CPU takes one by one job and gives it to the processor, that is called as the running state. Okay. So running state, and before going to execution the processes are first stored into a queue manner, that is called as the schedule. From that schedule, the operating system takes one by one process and gives it to the CPU for their execution. And in the meantime of the execution, if one process needs some resources, then that process will not wait into the running state. It will move to the waiting state or blocked state, and the CPU does not have an idle time or suffers from idle time period. At the time when the process is moved into the waiting state or blocked state, the next priority process or the next scheduled process, the operating system takes and gives it to the CPU for their execution. After completion of all the execution is completed or all the types of execution are completed of a process, then that process is moved to the termination state or it should move to the output screen for display purpose. Okay. So these are the steps and these are the working process of a process state transition diagram. Okay. So these are the suspended ready state and suspended wait state. Okay. So in the wait state or in the blocked state, if number of processes are there, then again one process comes to the waiting state or blocked state. Then if there is no space, then we have to free the memory location. For that purpose, we are using the suspended wait state. That means here the process comes to the suspended wait state, and after the waiting state is freed, then again the suspended wait process is again moved to the waiting state, and then it should move to the ready state, and then it should move to the run state. After the completion of execution, it may move to the termination state. Okay. So same as suspended wait, there is also one state, that is suspended ready state. If the ready state is full of memory location, then to free the ready state, we will move one process to suspended ready state. After the ready state memory location will free, then we will again move the process from the suspended ready state to the ready state. Okay. So this is the working structure of process state transition diagram. Okay. Again, I am going to tell you that listen carefully. So first the process is in new state. After that, it will move to the ready state, and in the ready state, the operating system prepares a schedule. From that schedule, it selects one by one process and gives it to the processor for execution, and that is known as the running state. If at the time of execution one process needs some resources, then it is moved to the waiting or blocked state. And if the execution is completed, then it is moved to the termination state for display the result. Okay. So these are the working structure of process state transition diagram. Let me go through the notes. The process from its creation to completion passes through various states. The names of the states are as following. One is new state, a program which is going to be picked up by the operating system into the main memory is called a new process. Okay. Next one is the ready state. Whenever a process is created, it directly enters in the ready state, in which it waits for the CPU to be assigned. That means it is a previous state of running state which is followed in the process state transition diagram. Okay. So the operating system picks the new processes from the secondary memory and put all of them in the main memory. We have told you that the processes which are ready for the execution and reside in the main memory are called ready state processes. there can be many processes present in the ready state. One of the process from the ready state will be chosen by the operating system depending upon the scheduling algorithm. Hence, if we have only one CPU in our system, the number of running processes for a particular time will always be 1. Okay. So, if we have n processors in the system, then we can have n processes running simultaneously. Okay. Next one is blocked or waiting state. So, from the running state, a process can make the transition to the blocked state depending upon the scheduling algorithm or the intrinsic behavior of the process. When a process waits for a certain resource to be assigned or for the input from the user, then the operating system moves this process to the block or wait state and assigns the CPU to the other process. So, next is completion or termination. So, it is the last step of the process. When a process finishes its execution, it comes in the termination state. All the context of the process will also be deleted. The process will be terminated by the operating system. Next one is suspended ready. A process in the ready state which is moved to secondary memory from the main memory due to lack of the resources is called the suspended ready state. If the main memory is full and higher priority processes comes for the execution, then the operating system have to make the room for the process in the main memory by throwing the lower priority process out into the secondary memory. So, the suspended ready processes remain in the secondary memory until the main memory gets available. Next one is suspended wait state. Instead of removing the processes from the ready queue, it's better to remove the blocked process which is waiting for some resources in the main memory. Since it is already waiting for some resource to get available, hence it is better if it waits in the secondary memory and make room for the higher priority process. These processes complete their execution once the main memory gets available and their wait is finished. So, this is all about the different states. So, different operations on the processes are creation, that means firstly the process is created by the user. Once the process is created, it will be ready and come into the ready queue and will be ready for the execution. Second one is scheduling. It is the before process of the execution of a process. Out of the many processes present in the ready queue, the operating system chooses one process and starts executing it. Selecting the process which is to be executed next is known as the scheduling process. Execution, it is the running process of execution of a process by the processor. Once the process is scheduled for the execution, the processor starts executing it. So, process may come to the blocked or wait state during the execution. Then, in that case, the processor starts executing the other processes. Next one is deletion or killing. Once the purpose of the process gets over, then the operating system will kill the process. The context of the process will be deleted and the process gets terminated by the operating system. So, these are the different operations are done to a process, and these are the states of different states are there for a process to complete its execution. So, this is all about the process state transition diagram. And so, first the process enters into the ready state, the new process enters into the ready state. and from ready state one schedule is prepared, that schedule having different types of processes, and the operating system selects one by one process from this schedule and gives the processes to the processor for execution. That is, the execution state is called as the running state, and if at the time of execution if a process needs some resources, then it moves to the wait or blocked state. After all the resources are available, then it again sends back to the ready state, and after the jobs are executed or processes are executed, when the waiting state is came, then it again gives to the processor for its execution, and after completion of execution of a process, it is going to terminate from the processor and gives the result or output operation to the user. Okay. So this is the process state transition diagram. Okay. I hope you understand this topic. Go through it. If you have any doubts, then ask me. Okay. Thank you.